Welcome everyone. Today is October the 10th, 2024, and I'm outside getting ready for canning. So, it's freezing cold. It's like highs are in the 50s and the lows are in the 40s. It's cold. But the sun was out, and if you're in the sun, it is nice and warm. It feels great. So I was getting a lot of work done, but then all the clouds came in. Oh my gosh, it is freezing cold. Really cold. So I'm going in the house for a bit because I'm freezing cold. But I want to show you what I've been working on. So this here is my All-American pressure canner. It's an All-American 930. And I bought this in 2020 when there was a global shortage, or like a shortage across North America. Can't get canners and all this stuff. Well, I just happened to find one online. I found a website that I didn't even know existed, and I was able to order it. Of course, it was top dollar back then, but I had to wait, I think it was 1 month, maybe two. I think it was 1 or 2 months I had to wait, but everywhere else, it was a 1 year wait. I only had to wait like 1 or 2 months for them to get their new shipments in. So I bought this thing, and this poor canner has been through so much. So when I was moving, it just got messed up. So I just want to give you some tips and some advice if you have one or if you're going to get one. But I'm out here washing it before I use it. So when I was moving, I thought it was washed out before it went in the moving truck. No. There was actually the tray was in there and there was water in the bottom, but I didn't know there was water in the bottom. And the lid got put on, and then it went really gross and disgusting. So that got messed up. The inside is not pretty. It's good. You can still use it even though it's ugly. As long as it's clean, it's fine. But the outside is a real mess. When I got it, I think I got a defective one because the lid, it is really hard to get it to get it level, because when you put it on and you start screwing in the whatever you call those screw things, it's very important to get it as close to perfectly level as you can, and it's extremely difficult with this one. It's also very difficult to open, and also my handles here are not level. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, see? They were not put on level. Both of them are crooked, but unfortunately, I couldn't return it because I needed it. And if I return it, it would be months before I would get another one. So I had to just take it as is, and it was brand new. But see here, I don't know if you could see these spots here. That is actually in the metal. So when I was moving, my cat has a lot to say out the window. I love you too, son. Okay, I'll be in just a minute. He's such a sweetheart. He's a big baby. And so it looks really gross and ugly, but it's just, I don't know what happened, but it's not as all that beautiful, pretty shine that everyone else has. No, I have the ugly one. And so I'm trying to do the best I can. Like I said, as long as they're clean, it doesn't matter if they're ugly. So I'm letting this one soak, and I'm going to clean it. But let me put this here. So I did get the lid clean. See the top here, how it looks awful? It's not dirt. It's actually in the aluminum. So it came nice and shiny. But I don't know what happened, but it just got really messed up somehow. So I don't know. But yeah, that's what my lid looks like. Isn't that awful? And it's hard to explain, but it's not dirt. It's like engraving. It's like engraved in the metal. So it's a mess. And this poor thing was brand new, 2020. So yeah, it's hard. And over here, you can see how much I've used it. It's like the heat from the vent has pretty much burnt the aluminum. So this poor thing, oh my gosh, I mean, it's really been through a lot, but it's still good enough to use. So I'm out here giving it a good wash. This here just has to dry. I think it is dry, But I'm letting this soak, and I'm gonna give the inside a really good scrub, and then I'm gonna start using it this week. I have so much I need to can, and I'm going to take videos of everything and show you what I do, and hopefully you might learn some things or be motivated and not so scared. A lot of people are scared of these. No need to be. I was. So the first thing I pressure can was water as a test, like to try it, and after I used it once, that's all it took. I was fine. Like, oh, that's not bad. Like, this is awesome. And now it's one of my favorite things. So here is number one issue I have. So I'm going to give you some tips, but I just want to tell you something that is really important to consider when buying a pressure canner. I love All American, it's great, but good gracious, it is like a beast to lift. It is so heavy. I can hardly lift this thing. It is solid metal and it's really, really thick. So I'm next to an ATV trail, so if you hear, ATVs and dirt bikes and stuff, yep, that's what I listen to all day. But this thing is really extremely heavy, so if you have any kind of issues like spine damage or arthritis or any kind of issues where it's hard to lift stuff or you shouldn't be lifting, this may not be for you. The small ones are not as bad, but this is the big one. It's the second largest one. Not the largest, the second largest. But it is extremely heavy. It's also very hard to wash because it is so big that I can't fit it in a traditional sink. I have a double sink and you can't. So it's really hard. You have to put water and soap and wash it, then try and dump it in the sink and then pour water in it. And then I always wash it with vinegar and water after I wash it with dish soap. And it's just a pain. That's why I came outside. I'm like, it's cold, but it's not too bad. I can just use the hose and just give it a real good scrub outside. So much more convenient. So here's the problem. So weight. If you have issues with lifting, then I would highly recommend not getting this one. Here's the other issue. This is the big one. Why is it that my pressure canner is giving me cautions for cancer? See right here? I don't know if you can see it. It says right there, warning, cancer and reproductive harm. And it also says, of course, it also says it on our refrigerators too. But, we also have some warning labels here. And warning labels are good, but the cancer and reproductive warning label, this is my assumption because I don't know the exact reason, but I do know when aluminum is exposed to heat, it releases a toxic gas. You're not going to smell it, but it's in the air that you breathe. And it's absorbed through your skin, everything. So I'm thinking maybe that's why it has cancer warning labels, is because of the aluminum being exposed to heat, because all American canners are aluminum. So I personally, as much as I love this, I'm actually going to be looking into getting like a Presto or another brand that is stainless steel and is not aluminum. So right now, I'm just using what I got and keep praying that I'll be safe and healthy. But for now, I have to use the cancer causer, and that's what I have. So it is what it is. Do the best you can. And so I try very hard to do large batch canning so that I only have to do it one time. So when I start, I will just be canning all day, every day for probably 2 weeks and just getting as much done as possible because it is a ton of work when I can. So I want to get as much out of my freezer in here so I can raw pack my vegetable or my chicken and some beef with vegetables to make soup. That is one of my favorite things. Just put your raw meat, some vegetables, salt, water, pressure can, and it instantly makes a really good soup in a jar. So you don't actually have to go make soup and then can it. So I will be working really hard the next at least 2 weeks on canning, probably longer. And then hopefully I'm good until like next summer. But anyways, this is just what I have to work with. So I'm going to be showing you what I do with mine. And if you have a different one, it's basically the same. It's just you'd have a gasket. So as much as I love it, I really want to get a different one that's not aluminum. So I cleaned this part off here, and I'm going to put that over here so it can finish drying. Now, when you're cleaning your pressure canner, here is something that I highly recommend that I don't see other people doing. I'm sure there are people, but I haven't seen them. So this here, right here, let me reach in here and get one to show you. So these here are what go on here, but I'm washing them right now. So what I did is I actually just unscrewed this, and then I have this soaking in here, but I'm going to take my scrub brush and I'm going to make sure I get all the inside and the outside a good scrubbing and get it clean. And I took my scrub brush and I scrubbed all in here. I lifted it up and I scrubbed in here, and I just personally find that it is going to probably help you in the long run if you make sure all this is clean, because you have to like oil or grease in here, all like here. You've got to oil and grease this. I also do a little bit in here too, so that it doesn't stick together, or anyways, you won't be able to open it. So you have to grease here. A lot of people use like vegetable oil or olive oil. Problem with that is with the heat, it will like evaporate or dissipate quite a bit. So what I actually use is, and I found that the best thing, at least in my experience, is Vaseline. So if you put Vaseline on here, make sure you have enough. You don't want to get like stingy, because you're going to cause problems later when it doesn't open. So I take my Vaseline and I make sure I put it here too. So, you know, it covers everything all along here and a little bit on here. And then I also take my lid and I also put it around the rim of my lid a little bit. That way, when it's time to open the pressure canner, it's a lot easier. I still have a little bit of hard time, so I actually have like the handle of a stainless steel solid heavy spoon, and like a big cooking one, and I actually have to put it in here, the little space here, and pry it open. And you have to pop it open. Other people don't. They literally just open it up and it's fine. But ever since I got this canner, I've always had the same problem. So anyways, that is my tip, is to make sure these here are clean. This is very important. And also make sure you're cleaning this too. So right before I'm about to do my big cannings, I make sure I give it a good wash and really get a good scrubbing in here and in here, and also on your lid too. Now, my lid over here that's drying, I also see you have your vent here. It's very important to make sure that's clean. Even if it's ugly and it looks gross, I mean, as long as it works and it's clean, that's all you need. Inside is beautiful though. See? It's pretty. Now, what I did was I took my hose when I was washing this, and after I gave it a good scrub, I put the hose right there. That's where the vent is. And I watched on the outside, and I could see a really heavy, steady flow of water coming out of it. And it shows me that there's no obstructions in here, so it is really clean. So it's very important to make sure you get the inside of this vent scrub clean too. You want to be able to have a nice, clear space. And actually, I don't think you can see it, but I can look right through here and I can see, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look through there at the right angle, you will be able to see right there. Okay, so you can see right through, and you can see that there's nothing blocking it. So very important to make sure that you keep that clean. And when you're washing your canner, I also take my scrub brush around here to make sure there's no buildup of anything in here, because especially if you're pressure canning meats or anything like that, when the steam is coming through, often it has a little bit of grease on it. So I make sure I cleaned that. And on the inside too, right here, I used my scrub brush and I cleaned all around there. I want to make sure that's in real good working order. That is, it's like a backup vent type thing, you know. So anyways, that's just my advice here for when you are cleaning your all-American cleaner. Now, vinegar is actually vinegar and water is what's going to clean your aluminum. I personally like to make sure I get a good scrubbing of soap and water first. And then after I do that, then I do the vinegar and water. And that's going to help replenish the nice shiny coloring a little bit. And it's also just going to get a little disinfect. Doesn't really matter because when I'm pressure canning, the heat in this thing is going to be disinfected. So anyways, oh, the sun came out. Well, it's starting to come back. I can feel it and it feels nice and warm now. So this here, actually I'll finish washing it right now while the sun's out. And so I just want to make sure that people don't forget to give your canners a really good scrub every once in a while, preferably before you use it or before you put it away. So after you're done using your canner, give it a really good scrub and make sure it's fully dry, put it away, and then when you go to use it, you don't have to worry because you can just rinse it out, and for the most part it's fine. But depending on what you're pressure canning, I find a lot of times you're going to get a little bit of some kind of liquid from your jars in that water, and so it's just a good idea to keep it clean. And also your racks here. So this one is soaking. This is the one that came with my canner, and I do want to show you something that's very important. If you see here, I don't know if you can see, but it's not flat. See here? It has a ridge, and on the inside, let me just move some of this soap here. Okay, so see right there? It's got that ridge. This is so that right, it goes this way. This is not flat on the bottom. There's no purpose to having this flat on the bottom because you're not allowing the water to go through under your jars. So these here are extremely important to use in any pressure canner. I'm sure you can use flat ones, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. So make sure that you have good racks like this, so it elevates the rack from the bottom and it allows water to go underneath your jars. Now, what I did is I bought extra racks because sometimes, I don't know, I can't find my second rack because I can double stack in here. So what I did is, these are super expensive. I think it was like $35 for one. So I was able to find really decent stainless steel ones that were 2 for $10, but they're flat. So what I do is I try to make sure I don't lose at least one of these. I have 3 of them. So as long as I have one, I use this for the bottom. And then the flat ones, I can just put that for my second rack, because you just need to be able to safely stack your jars. You're getting your airflow underneath it anyways. So make sure you're giving your racks a really good scrub. And I do highly recommend to make sure you have that ridge on at least the rack that's on the bottom. But if you're double stacking, it should be okay to put that. Some people say, oh, just put a towel in the bottom or something. And okay, yeah, you could do that. I personally don't recommend it. It's not something I would do, but you could. So I'm just showing you what I do and what I think works best for me. So if you do things different, you know, that's your choice. But this is just what I do and what I recommend for people. So I'm going to go and finish washing this and get it ready so I can start my canning. And I'm really hoping to be able to show you a video of a stainless steel one that is a different brand. So like I said, I love this one. I mean, it's amazing how much I can fit in here, and it is very efficient for me. So the shorter ones, the small ones, weight wise, it'd be a lot easier to work with and a lot easier to clean. You can put it in the sink. But when I can get a whole ton of jars in here, I forget how many I fit in here, but I can get a whole lot of jars in here, and I can can all that up just in one canning session. So for me to be able to can like 2 to 3 times what other people are able to can in one batch, that's life-changing for me. It saves me so much. So, you know, I do love the size of this, and it makes it hard to have to try and switch to a different one because I don't want aluminum. But if I can get one that will allow me to double stack and pressure can large amounts at one time, then, you know, I personally would much rather use the cheaper one, because to me it just seems like it's a health issue and it's just a better healthy option. So even though I love All American, I am going to be looking into putting that on my list of things I need to do, is to get a new one that is stainless steel. But I have seen some that seem pretty big. So if you don't have an All American, you know, and you feel bad because you really want the nice big pretty ones that other people have, and well, there's some downsides. So yeah, it's great, and I'm grateful and appreciative that I have it. But on the other hand, if you don't have one, it may actually be a good thing. So I hope everyone has an amazing canning year and you're able to fill all your shelves, and hopefully with abundance and extra. And I am going to finish washing this, and stay tuned, because as I do my canning, I will be posting videos and you'll be able to see what I have, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas, and I will see you on the next video.